Hi, friends. Welcome back to Live with Roxy. We're doing it from bed. Why are we doing it from bed? Because if I hold it further away, too, we're just so close up right now. I just don't want it to be too dark for you guys. We're doing it from bed, phrasing, for a couple different reasons. Number one, because I have guests staying with me right now, so I don't want to take over the other places in the house. Number two, it's my motherfucking show. I do what I want. Number three, I am getting over. I've been sick again for days. I think today is my final day. I'm feeling better. I don't know. My immune system is not good, guys. I've been trying, but a couple helpful tips in case you guys end up getting whatever cold, flu, whatever's happening right now. My friend told me that I need to be drinking bone broth and beef bone broth and chicken broth. That shit is so great. Just so great. Um, I think it really helps, like loosens the mucus. Have you guys ever done this before? Who knows if it fucking helps? I went and spent $200 on medication. I had like tapped myself out of all my meds. Steph had been sick recently, and I gave her a bunch of meds, and all my stuff was out. So yesterday I went and I got Flonase, NyQuil, Zyrtec, uh, what the fuck is the one that they think you're gonna make meth with? Sudafed, Coldies, Zicam. I got all this bone broth, chicken broth, like all the things. And then for 2 days straight, I've just like not left bed, just been trying to um, rest. And it's definitely worked. Now, like yesterday, I was completely clogged. Now I'm not taking a lot of vitamin C, airborne, all of the shit, dude. Just was like, I just cannot be down for the count again. You guys know I was sick for like 10 days over the new year. I had COVID twice last year. And then today I was supposed to see my grandparents, but it's like the lingering effect. I feel like tomorrow I'll be able to see them. I think even by tonight, but I just didn't want to. Um, and then Marisu, I was gonna get Afrin, but then I talked to the pharmacist and they said don't get Afrin, get Flonase, which is twice as fucking expensive. But Afrin, they said you can't take past 3 days or it doesn't work anymore. Flonase you can keep taking. I guess Afrin, like it's really bad to take more than 3 days in a row. Also, when I used to take Afrin, I used to lose my voice. I don't know exactly what that is. So those are some of the things. Anyway, we're here today doing the show from bed for that reason, for a couple reasons. Okay. Streamups.com/Roxy Stryer. We got things to talk about. Sorry, it looks like the internet in this room isn't that great. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Is it good enough? Sometimes in life it can't be great, it could just be good enough. Usually I strive to be great. Sometimes have to accept good enough. So Alec Baldwin was just kept being very clear for the last since the Rust shooting that he was not going to be charged. And then today he was charged. We're going to go over those charges and we're going to talk about what exactly that looks like, what that might mean. Also, I've been noticing on social media more and more so many layoffs. Just fucking brutal. So many layoffs going on right now. Um, There was the Vox layoffs today, the fandom layoffs, and then I got an article that Alphabet is laying off like thousands of employees. So much. Just like brutal. Like that's a window behind me, so not much I can do about that, honey. Um, just just brutal. And as you guys know, I was laid off from like 3 other jobs last year. And in the past 10 years, you guys have watched me be laid off, laid off, laid off. And it's just, this industry is so fucking hard. So fucking hard. So, talking about some of that. And then David Crosby, may he rest in peace. A little tribute to him. Plus, anything you guys want to talk about, streamups.com/Roxy Stryer, super chat in. Let me know. Questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, bits, bots, thoughts, and twats. I didn't want to not go live again today because I didn't go live. I've been going live less on this channel. I know I went live those 31 days in a row, and I still want to make sure I'm checking in on you guys a lot. Just sometimes, oh, sometimes I just don't want to. Okay, so going over into the Streamlabs, let's kick off the show with you guys. Thank you for being here with me. Right, meow. Oh, good. Somebody just ordered a Whirl Girl. Let's see what they got. I'm not sure. I think it was a calendar. Thanks, friend. Okay, so starting in the Streamlabs, and again, send in that support. Times they are a changing and they are a tough. And if you're here, I appreciate your love and support. Mike Joyce says, did you ever get that Marcel the Shell figure from Christian? No. For those of you guys who don't know, I do the big thing with Christian. We tape on Wednesdays. You guys see it on Thursdays. And he had this Marcel the Shell action figure statue thing. And it's my favorite movie. And I asked him for it, and he said no. He loves the movie too, but I feel like I should have been sent one. Like, how am I not on their mailing list? How am I not getting Marcel stuff? How many people have gone to see Marcel the Shell just because I told them to? I mean, I must have been the greatest marketing campaign for them. Me and Steph, we've just been pushing them. It's crazy. Marcel, I thought you guys loved me. What happened? Why? Why didn't you send me your stuff? I don't know. Streamlabs.com/RoxyStrier. Super chat in. Questions, comments, concerns. Let's talk a little bit about Alec Baldwin. So Alec Baldwin was really under the belief, and his lawyers were under the belief, that he was not going to be charged with the Rust shooting. You guys remember about a year ago, somebody died on the set of Rust after being shot, the DP. And it was a big, big news story, as, of course, somebody lost their life. And Alec Baldwin supposedly, allegedly, was the one who had pulled the trigger. Alec Baldwin has said that he didn't pull the trigger. That was very confusing. But people were trying to figure out who is at fault here. Is it the producers, Alec Baldwin, which is one of them, for not giving the crews enough time, for rushing things, for cutting corners? Is it the person on set who is supposed to be checking the guns, providing the guns? Whose fault is this exactly? And now we know that other people are also being charged, but Alec Baldwin is being charged. Here are the three things that we're looking at: involuntary manslaughter, which is a fourth-degree felony, which is up to 18 months in prison; involuntary manslaughter in the commission of a lawful act, which is up to 18 months; and firearm enhancement, which is a minimum of 5 years. So he is looking at some potential serious jail time here. And a lot of people have mixed opinions on this. Now, if Alec Baldwin was not a producer on this movie, let's talk about that for a second. Now, he is. So, but if he had not been a producer on the movie, when you are an actor on set and you are given something and told that there are no bullets in it, you trust that. I wouldn't even know how to check a gun on set to see what the situation was. You believe the people who tell you, whose jobs it is to tell you there's nothing in this. And if he was just an actor in this, I feel like it'd be pretty clear cut that it wouldn't be legitimate to charge him. The strange thing about that, though, is that he's saying he didn't pull the trigger. And I think that that's starting to piss off the people who are charging him, because he's saying he has nothing to really apologize for, that it's an awful accident, but he didn't do it. And even if I had just been an actor on this, I don't think those are the words that I would have chosen. He is not just an actor on this set, though. He is a producer. Now, there have been seemingly some wrongdoings on this set, corners being cut and whatnot. And if they can prove that the corners that he as a producer cut led to this incident, then of course I think that person should be charged. If that person is responsible for cutting the corners that led to this accident, which is an accident, but was it a preventable accident? Yes. then charging him makes sense, but maybe not with these specific charges across the board. How do you guys feel about this? I think it's very scary as an actor on set that you could be charged with something like this. But again, he's not just an actor, he's a producer. I saw a couple Twitter threads going around being like, this is egregious. He didn't do this on purpose. And then some people saying that he is getting what he deserves. It's always so tough too, though, because even if those corners were cut, he would be partially responsible if he was the one cutting those. It's hard to when you're such a big set, it's hard to trace exactly whose corners that were cut in which situation caused this specific horrible accident. Awful. Awful. What do you guys think? Let me know. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Do you think Alec Baldwin should be charged? Do you think Alec Baldwin should see jail time? Now, as I've said, he is not the only one who's been charged, but of course he is the most notable name and the one that people are discussing and talking about. I would love to know what you guys think, so please let me know. It is so weird to drink chicken broth out of a teacup. I keep expecting it to be tea, but it is broth. Additionally, unrelated to the Alec Baldwin story and back on the tea story, you're not supposed to have caffeine when you are trying to hydrate and get well. So uncaffeinated. No tea for Rox. Greg says, hi Roxy, as an actress, would this situation make you second guess taking a role that shoots a gun, like a police drama, for example? I mean, it's a great question. I don't think it would make me second guess taking the role. It would definitely make me second guess how I operate that gun. So I think that I would insist on some serious training on gun training and gun safety, and then how to check the gun, which is included in the gun safety, of course, so that I felt comfortable. You know, the fact that this gun, like, so many things had to go wrong for this gun to be fired on set and have and be able to kill somebody. So preventable. So I would do everything that I could to prevent it. I would like to think I would have done that even prior to this story, though. Just, yeah. Wait, what does that mean? Ryan said Roxy became creepy pasta. What does that mean? I don't get it. What's creepy pasta? Roxy became creepy pasta. What's creepy pasta? I don't get it. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Getting your questions, comments, concerns. Would love to hear from you guys on this situation and everything else going on. ZB says, hope you feel better for the weekend. Thanks, ZB. I am definitely feeling good. Better. Like I should. Mark Jason Ali in the Streamlabs says, can't watch live, heading home from seeing Marcella Shell. Yes! Such a great and lovely film. Very endearing. How are you, Rox? How's family? Hoping to be able to support properly soon. For now, here's a small token. Take care. Thank you, Mark. I really appreciate it. It all helps so much. I always think about this every show, but if everybody who's watching was able to give $5 to support the show, that'd be so amazing and lovely. So it means the world to me. Thank you. I think he means the Wi-Fi is so bad you look like an internet monster. Do I right now? What do I look like? I'm curious. Nick says it seems wrong to me. It's not his job to check the gun. Yeah, I mean, obviously, he doesn't seem to be the main issue of how this happened. And would he be being charged if he was a no-name? It's a question I've asked myself. But he's not. Would he be being charged if he wasn't a producer? But he is. Ash in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer said, I just finished episode 1 of The Last of Us and season 3 of Harley Quinn, episode 3 of Vox Machina, and all of Abbott Elementary today. So unemployed boredom is going well. Okay, let's go over those. Episode 1 of The Last of Us, so good. Episode 3 of Harley Quinn, I haven't seen it. I only saw the first 2 seasons, and I love that show. I got to get on it. Episode 3 of Vox Machina, I never watched it. That's the Critical Role show. And all of Abbott Elementary, I watched the most recent episode of Abbott Elementary last night. I love that show. This will they, won't they, but of course they eventually will, between James and Quinta. What are their names? Whatever their names on the show are. God, I just want them so badly to be together. They're perfect for each other. They would respect each other. Come on. We got to know more. What's happening? Why can't they just be? What was your favorite of those 4 shows that you watched, Ash? What do you recommend? Last night, I also finished The Circle. I watched the finale of The Circle. Eddie and Janine. Brittany, his name is Eddie? That doesn't even sound close to familiar. Janine's right. Eddie. Do they call him something else? Eddie? That doesn't seem right. Eddie. Okay. Don't know. Oh, Gregory Eddie. Yeah, Gregory. There we go. Thank you. I'm like, I don't remember them calling him that. Oh my God, great reference from Jake R. Ed and Eddie. Loved that show growing up. It was probably so stupid looking back at it, but it was great. So I watched Circle last night. I don't want to give spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen it yet, but I was really happy with the final 3. Really happy with the final 3. And of that final 3, the person who I least would have wanted to win won, but I still thought that person really deserved it. So I was really happy for them. And I think the show was so good this season. So much love, and I hope that these people stay friends forever, and I feel like some of them will. But then I was also thinking, this is such a sad, cynical thought, but the winner wins $100,000. And I was like, okay, so taxed, they're going to win $60,000. Literally, taxes are going to take $40,000 of that. So then they have $60,000. And the way the winners always talk about it, they're like, this is life-changing money. And $60,000. If I got $60,000, that would literally change my life for sure. But the person talking about it is like, I'm going to do this with it. I'm going to take this person out of this thing. I'm going to buy this thing, a house for this thing. And I'm just sitting there thinking like, $60,000 is so not enough money to do any of those things you want to do. It's enough money to invest, or it's enough money to, go on a sick vacation and invest, or to pay your rent for a couple of years and then like work on what you love. But the way they talk about it, I'm just like, oh man, $60,000 will go so fast. Brittany says I agree about 95% of your circle takes, but not this one, Brittany. I want to know. Oh, Brittany, Mr. Eddie. Yeah. The kid. Okay. That's checking out now. I've got some brain fog coming on over me. Okay, also in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer, Jake Yakavetta says, I would give $5, but you said I'm a contrarian, so I can't do it. LOL. Fingers crossed that this new contract starts next week. I've been going insane without having work for the last 2 weeks. That's kind of contrary to me being as lazy as I am. Jake, thank you so much for your support. I feel like you and Ash should hang out till your jobs start. Not that you're in the same place, but like digitally check in on each other. Roxy, your voice is in permanent Marcel mode. Does it sound different on here, or I just sound like Marcel? Sometimes my people say my head's too big for my body, and I just look at them and say, compared to what? You want to know why I smile? Because it's worth it. Yo, my Marcel voice slaps. Oh, the internet's messed up. It's fucked up. I'm talking about like serious things today, and my internet voice is just not doing it. Questions, comments, concerns, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Let's talk about sex, baby. Now let's talk about all these layoffs. I mentioned it briefly, but I saw today on Twitter that a lot of people were laid off from Vox, which it's just like, companies have to do what they have to do to stay afloat. But all these companies that are growing so quickly and then they just get rid of people like they're nothing with no notice, like they're trash. It bothers me, man. I've never worked for Vox before. I saw this first with a tweet from Emily St. James. Emily St. James is uh, a writer for Vox, and this is what she said on Twitter. After a long tenure at Vox, I will not be working there any longer. The decision wasn't mine. I'm furious for my other talented colleagues, worried for myself, and very tired as I am on maternity leave and I'm having trouble processing emotions other than baby. If you want to work with me full time or on a freelance basis, you can DM me or email me. I write all numbers of things: nonfiction, fiction, podcast scripts. I just got nominated for WGA and GLAAD awards, but I think I'll take a few weeks to hang out with my baby, who rules. This is my baby, a good baby, no notes, and then puts a picture of her baby. I do want to thank you to my colleagues in the Vox Media Union. The terms of my severance are generous and don't begin until after my leave is over, and that is entirely because of how hard they fought for that. Unionize your workplaces. Glad to hear that they fought for that so that her severance takes place. But this is just so, like, you're on maternity leave and you find out you've been laid off and you've worked for the company forever. It's just fucked. It's fucked. I feel bad. And, like, you know, it's awful. And then I saw Fandom, my previous employer, the ones who bought Screen Junkies, and you guys know there have been layoffs over there in the past, but the person who, when I was hosting there, was just a PA who I loved, who I still love. We keep in touch because I think that he's just fucking great. Ryan, I saw that he was laid off over there. He posted saying, last day with SJ and Fandom crew. Thank you to the non-Slipknot co-workers who had my back, even if it meant using their sword, which traps the souls of its victims. I reached out to him immediately. I feel fucking awful. And like, this isn't a company's, it's not a company's duty to have a soul, but like last year or in the last 2 years, both Ryan's mom and dad died. Ryan has worked so fucking hard for that company since I was there. He's awesome at what he does. It's just like fucking so watching it, and he's such a lovely, graceful person. And I get it. You should be graceful on your way out. You don't want to be one of those people who lights places on fires. As you guys know, I was as graceful as possible on my way out of every job, of Collider, of Screen Junkies, of Call-In, of everywhere. I've tried so hard to be so graceful every time I've been laid off. But it's hard, and you're scared. I'm not exactly sure the terms of what happened with Ryan. I just know that he posted that, and that Emma Fife quote tweeted and said, "Please hire this guy." And then I saw that there was a few other Fandom layoffs that happened. And then after I was done reading that, I saw that I got an email from Hollywood Reporter, and it said, I took a screenshot of this, just like, oh my gosh. It was saying that a lot of the Alphabet employees are going to be laid off, which is the parent company for Google, which is obviously where we are right now. Google parent Alphabet to lay off 1,000 employees. So you come into this new year and you try to deal with your finances and all this stuff, and then you're fucking laid off. Remember, I got laid off from Collider on the 2nd of the year. It's just like you feel in shambles. You don't know what to do. Even last year, ending last year, getting laid off from Call-In, where it's like, using something to pay your rent, and then all of a sudden you don't know what to do. And for you guys at home, I'm sure so many of you guys know what I'm talking about or feeling, or it's just like, just fucking brutal. So I'm feeling for everybody who's been laid off this year. If you have a job and you hate it, I'm sorry, but at the very least, feel grateful that you are able to pay for your life. Just brutal. Anyway, feeling for all of my friends who've been laid off this week. I've messaged them all. I've been there so many fucking times. And one of the best tips I have for freelance people is to diversify when you are in a secure position. If you are freelance, do not ever assume that you are not going to get laid off. This is why you guys know I work 100-hour weeks. I work so many jobs because losing Call-In was like losing, I think, like 15% or whatever of my income. More than that, maybe less than that. I'd have to do the math, but I try not to have any jobs make up too much of a percentage because all these companies hire, and then fire. And you got to try to diversify, whether it's like working for multiple different companies, having multiple different skill sets, in companies in different areas, and do it when you're secure. You don't want to be on your ass looking, which is where I've been for the last little bit, even though I have diversified quite a bit. So anyway, that Ash in the streamlabs.com/Rockstar said, I liked Harley Quinn season 3, the best of them. Oh, good. I love these plots and relationships. Abbott Elementary is so good. Vox Machina is the Critical Role show. That one I enjoyed extra because I watched them play it live 7 years ago. That must be so cool for you then. Last of Us feels perfect so far. Wow, it's so great that you watched 4 things and all of them slapped. I'm glad that you're keeping busy during your time off and doing the most important thing on the planet, catching up on your television. Yes. It's very valuable to do that during this time. Streamlabs.com/RoxyStryer. Super chat in. David Crosby passed away, of the Birds, of Crosby, Still, Nash, and then Crosby, Still, Nash, and Young. Just like, what a legend, man. I mean, we're watching all of the biggest rock stars of our time tweet about him. I saw Tom Petty's Twitter account posting about him, his estate, obviously. All of the biggest rock bands currently, or their estates. I mean, everybody just posting these videos of him. Even the people that he has not been working with recently, because as there was some issues with some of his bandmates in the past. Everybody was just saying, like, this man gave a fuck about the music, man. He cared so much about the music, and yeah, what a great musician. My favorite song of Crosby, Still, Nash and Young is Woodstock, which is initially Joni Mitchell, but their version just like feels like rock and roll to me, man. Just true rock and roll. It's worth your time if you haven't listened to it. Some really great lyrics. For the Birds, obviously, like Turn. I was listening to that yesterday and just thinking, like, to everything there's a season, a time, a purpose. And I even was listening to some interviews of David Crosby from a little bit ago. When he turned 80, he said he was going to stop touring. And he's like, listen, I'm old now, which means I'm going to die soon. So I want to put out as much music as possible. I don't want to be on tour. And so he's pumping out music in the last couple of years. And I feel like he got it. seasons of life and felt okay about that and wanted to leave his mark. And we appreciate him for doing so. So, yeah. Yep. Let me know if you guys have songs that you love of his, great moments, memories, interviews, things like that. Let's go into the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. See what it is, what y'all have to say. Refreshing. My internet is trash. It's Ash, which unfortunately rhymed with trash in that moment. Sorry, Ash, you're not trash. Ash says, I feel like the circle winners always have a very skewed perception of what they can do with $100,000. Almost all of them seem to think like car, house, debt, forever money. I think Google firing 12,000 sucks, but in 2022 they hired 45,000, so I don't know. Would you guys rather be hired for a little bit and then fired or not hired at all? It's like these companies that grow so fast and then they're firing, and it's like, I don't know what's worse. If you just never hired them or if you hire them and fire them. Obviously, the best would be hiring them and having a business model that allows you to keep them. But yeah, the circle winners are always like, oh my God, I can't wait to buy a house and a car and help my grandparents. And I'm just like, $60,000 would be amazing. And I would put it in a really good spot. They're like, I'm going to be set for life. Set for life, my dude. I don't know about that. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. I've said it once, I've said it twice, I've said it 10 times on the show. Appreciate you guys for being here. We talked about Alec Baldwin. And we're going to continue talking about that, as I'm sure there will still be news. Talked about those layoffs. We talked a little bit about the late, great David Crosby. I also have mentioned this to you guys on the show, but try and be, and I know this is such a vague statement, but as careful as possible this year. And I don't mean careful as in don't take risks. Like, of course, career-wise, you got to do what you got to do. But I mean careful in terms of when you're driving, when you're walking, locking your doors at night. There just seems to be so many horrible accidents and people who are in really bad positions right now. And we got to try to be as safe as possible. We just keep hearing in this year, accident. It's a good time to check in on when's the last time you had your physical, your doctor's appointments, schedule things. Things book out months in advance now. We're back to that. During COVID, it wasn't the case. Now it is. Just try and be as careful as possible. For those of you guys who are asking about updates from Glenn, it seems as if things are the same. And thank you to Jake for consistently giving us updates. It seems as if things are the same right now, that things have not improved, but also have not worsened. And I'll keep you posted with any more updates that we get. We're thinking about Glenn all the time on this show. I think about him every day, multiple times a day. Just what a beautiful person he was. I just messaged Jake out of the blue the other day and was like, I feel fucking sick about Glenn. I do. I feel fucking sick about it. Because I love you guys and I care about you, and any of you guys who have shown up to support me over the last 13 years in any capacity. I feel so helpless when you guys are not well, and I'm just thinking about him. So please continue to put good energy out there for the Zen One himself. We love you, Glenn, and I know somewhere, somehow you can feel that right now, especially with your beliefs. I know that's got to be the case. Okay. Anything else going on with you guys? Any other final Streamlabs, super chats, questions, comments, concerns? Shout out to all of the people. Thank you to everybody who is here live today. Oh, Microsoft laid off people too. I didn't even see that. Ugh. That's like, is bollocks the right word for right now? Because that's what I feel like saying. Ugh, bollocks. Going back into the Streamlabs, thank you for the people in here. I appreciate you. To everybody who has Streamlabs in today, to Mike Joyce and ZB and Mark Jason Ali and Jake Yacovetta and Ash. And Ash just sent another one and said, fine, Roxy, I'll be careful. I won't go drive on the wrong side of the highway at 150 miles per hour with my eyes closed like I was planning to do. Ha ha ha. No, I just mean double check, triple check, do all the things. I'm just looking at what's trending right now. Another thing that I was debating talking about today, trending all day, has been P. Diddy. P spelled P-E-E. Y'all saw, I guess Young Miami talked about liking golden showers, and so everybody's calling P. Diddy P. Diddy. These are the kind of things that start trending where, and then everybody cares about it. I'm like, if we could only get everybody who cared about this, which seems to be all of Twitter, to care about things that mattered. Like, I don't give a flying fuck that Young Miami likes to get peed on. It doesn't make me think any differently of her. It doesn't make me think any better or worse. It doesn't make me really think anything. That's fine. That's a you thing. Not that it's anybody's business, but I've never had a golden shower. I've never wanted a golden shower. It's never been something that I was interested in. But go on with your bets, whatever. The way that every person is like, oh my God, everybody responding to this. And it is funny that it's P-E-E Diddy. That is fucking silly. But how do we get people to give a shit about things that matter? Like, how? Is there any way to get people to give a shit about things that matter? Like, there's got to be some conversion. There's some way that when we see things trending like this that are so stupid that we can be like, and by the way, what's going on at the border is fucking asinine. All right, I've pretty much gone through all the things with you guys. So that's it. That's the show. If you're watching this after the fact and you want to give support, I will read it on the next show. Streamlabs in, Super Chat in. Can't wait to hear from you guys. In addition to that, leave a comment. Tell your friends. Don't forget, I'm over on the World Girls. We're now there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That sounds like the start of that song. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Do they repeat Tuesday? Weird. So I'll probably be back here on Sunday, and then I'll be with the World Girls on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Thursday, the big thing. Friday, we'll be back for Only Stupid Answers. And I'll be here throughout the week too. Is there any other places you guys can catch me next week? Well, I'll keep you posted, and as always on socials as well. So much love to all of you guys. Stay safe. See, it's a big deal. Stay sane. Put down the toilet seat and libs. We don't want those plumes. Don't trump with the Holocaust. Justice for all the people who lost their lives due to excessive force. My body, my choice. Wherever you're on the rainbow, we love you. We stand with the women of Iran, some of the bravest women we've ever seen. Golden Sparkles, Glenn, you know in your soul somewhere inside how much you mean to this entire community. We love you. Keep fighting. And I'll be back soon. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Thank you to everybody in the Streamlabs. Much love. And stay safe out there. Seriously. Later.